I think we're just at the beginning of understanding the impact that generative AI is going to have on the creative production process. One of the things that I like to compare it with is the launch of the synthesizer in music production, right? And think how that changed the music industry. Where would we be without people like Daft Punk in our lives, right? But we're at that stage now that we'll be able to generate content almost in the same way as you could with the synthesizer with these generative AI tools. And that means that anybody will be able to access this and do things that you didn't think possible.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a really exciting time.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another conversation at Amazon Accelerate. I'm Cameron, and I'm joined today by Dan, and we have a really good conversation today talking about AI in video. We've been having a lot of conversations here at Accelerate about AI, and this subject matter specifically around video it's a big one.
Yeah.
So before we jump into the conversation about AI, about video, I think it'd be beneficial to have you just introduce yourself briefly to the audience.
Absolutely. And thank you for having me on the show. My name's Dan Whaley. I lead the generative AI video building team at Amazon Ads. And actually, I've been working in generative AI for almost all of my career, starting doing a degree back in 2004 in AI. Nobody had even heard of it those days. And now I think it's the most transformative and exciting time to be working in AI. And it's a really exciting topic to talk to you about how we are solving those kind of key customer problems today with generative AI.
So I think a really key area to start with this conversation, which is a really big one, is with the challenges, like the challenge that sellers are facing at a really broad level when it comes to producing video and ads. So I'm wondering if you can talk a bit about those challenges.
Yeah, it's a great question, and we always start from the customer and work backwards. The biggest challenge we see from customers is the gap between the content they have and the visually compelling content that they need to engage their customers throughout the year. To engage your customers, you need on-brand, timely, relevant visuals that are seasonally relevant and stay on trend. But the reality is that businesses lack the time and the resources to do that throughout the year. They have some shots, but they lack that really compelling, visually relevant content that they need to engage their customers throughout the cycle.
I wonder if you can it might be helpful to give some really specific examples, if you have them, for some of these challenges.
Really, we need very high quality, compelling video content to cut through the noise and get the message out to customers. We see when we talk to customers that 75% of businesses actually lack the compelling content that they need to engage their customers, and that speed is a key challenge for them. Getting that engaging, catchy, on-brand content out all of the time is something that they really struggle with day to day. To stay always on and keep content always coming, it's a delicate balance. But we think AI is going to tip the scales and move us in the right direction.
So let's talk about a bit about that. I think it's easy for sellers to feel like that maybe they're alone in some of these challenges. It's hard to contextualize some of the problems that you're talking about. That stat you gave was really interesting, 70-ish, 75%. But talk to me about how Gen AI or AI in general is working to solve a lot of these problems.
Yeah, we recognized early on the power of generative AI to streamline the content creation process and really empower our selling partners to create that content that they need. In fact, Amazon Ads has been building products with generative AI, with AI and generative AI for many years. Things like audience discovery and scaling reach are powered already by machine learning. And we know that small businesses lack the creative time and resources that they need to be able to produce the content. So using generative AI, we started to produce content and provide tools for them to do that. The first product that we launched was Image Generator, which is available in the console and via API. And that allows advertisers to create images for their products with just one click. So they go into the console, they find a product that they want, and then they click and they get 4 images for them in minutes. It's amazing.
So out of curiosity, how has that changed things for sellers? Or how did that release go for sellers?
It's been really good, actually. For customers, we see that they are able to launch 20% more campaigns than they were before, And importantly, they're seeing 4% jump in gross merchandise sales, which is a key metric for customers
Wow.
by using these products. And so based on the launch, we then started to add more features that customers wanted. So we've added things like positioning and scaling, and adding seasonally relevant themes. So, for example, pumpkins in the picture for Halloween, or Santa for Christmas. And we've also added the capability to rescale the product within the image, and we've launched in multiple marketplaces across the world. We've actually got a really exciting new product to launch with Image Generator that we're talking about Accelerate, and this is called Live Images. And what happens with a click of a button, you can add motion to a static product image. So if you've got a cup of coffee in your image, you can click a button, press the toggle, and it adds steam to the coffee,
Wow.
which is amazing, right?
Yeah.
We've also launched new product scaling features, and we've made the product available in North America and parts of the EU, including launching in sponsored brands and sponsored display campaigns.
I mean, talk about changing the experience for customers, like bringing that experience to life through imagery. That's really powerful. What about video specifically? You were talking about images kind of in that last segment. What about video in particular?
Yeah, and you can see that adding motion to a static image is a kind of step up into video. But we see that video is a super popular medium. So 89% of customers said they wanted to see more video from brands in 2024, according to a recent Weisel survey. And in that same survey, 91% of businesses said they wanted to do video marketing, but many cited the cost and time constraints, as we talked about before, as major reasons why they were not able to get into video advertising. In fact, we've been in the video creative game for some time. In 2022, we launched a product called Amazon Video Builder, which some of the sellers may be familiar with. This is a template-based video builder where you can bring your own images and add compelling copy to yourself within the template and create videos. That's been used by tens of thousands of advertisers in the last couple of years to launch tens of thousands of campaigns. But advertisers still say that there is friction in that creation process. It still takes them a few minutes. And because it's template-based, they have to have good images to start with. And the videos sometimes come out looking more similar than they'd like. But generative AI starts to change the game in that space. And this is why it's a really exciting time.
Yeah, it sounds like stepping stones, right? It sounds like these things blend into one another and you improve upon all those things. The images are an example of that, bringing images to life, the development of video. Can you talk a little bit more about how it works specifically?
Yeah, absolutely. So Video Builder or Video Generator is built as a co-pilot video building solution that allows advertisers to create videos just again at the click of a button from within the sponsored brands video building flow. We've optimized the videos for sponsored brands video, and we're creating thumb-stopping short-form video because a sponsored brands video runs for about 6 seconds before somebody is likely to click it. That ability to boil down video creation into just a one click and then some minor edits is a massive game changer. And we think this kind of free technology within the console is going to revolutionize the way that customers create video and free up their time and resources for all of the other things that they need to deal with in their busy days.
I think one of the themes at Accelerate thus far through the interviews that we've done here is time, saving time, time being a really valuable asset for customers. I think one question that customers might have is how they can tap into this, maybe how they can get started. So when is this expected to release, and or how can people get started using it?
Yeah, so we're expecting to release it in very shortly. I can't give you a specific date, but very shortly. And to get started, customers go into the campaign flow as they normally would to set up a sponsored brands video campaign. When they select the product that they want to advertise, and then they can select to generate videos with AI. Once they've done that, they'll get 4 video options within a few minutes. And they can either select one of those videos and run it in the campaign, or they can press generate again and get 4 more, or they can start to make some tweaks to the video via editing the copy and adding a logo. Some of the key things that customers want to do as we've found from our user research.
I feel like this is something that sellers will really want to dive into pretty quickly. One other aspect here is you mentioned that this aspect around video and generative AI is a part of a broader whole with generative AI in general. Can you speak to how you see Gen AI developing in a more general way over time?
Yeah, absolutely. Our goal with our tools is to create a suite of generative AI technologies that enable customers to create the videos and images that they want to. So we started with image generator, we laddered up to adding live image, and now we're laddering up again to add video into the suite. This is just the beginning of our exploration into how we democratize creative production for all advertisers and allow them to create those visually compelling, engaging, seasonally relevant, stunning images and videos that will allow their campaigns to stand out from the crowd and really get noticed.
Let's zoom out even more. Let's say the industry in general. So we're focused on advertising, right? But what about the industry in general? I mean, this is a really impactful change. This is a really impactful technology. It has really implications to give a lot of potential to customers and sellers as well. So how do you see this changing the industry in general?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I think we're just at the beginning of understanding the impact that generative AI is going to have on the creative production process, whether that be for image or video or anything else. And I think it's going to unleash a flurry of creativity and a whole range of new aesthetics and ways of creating content. One of the things that I like to kind of to compare it with is the launch of the synthesizer in music production, right? And think how that changed the music industry. And where would we be without people like Daft Punk in our lives, right? But we're at that stage now that we'll be able to generate content almost in the same way as you could with the synthesizer with these generative AI tools. And that means that anybody will be able to access this and do things that you didn't think possible.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a really exciting time.
Yeah, I haven't heard the analogy of the synthesizer with Daft Punk in the music industry, so I think that's a good one. I'll hold on to that one. Lastly, just kind of wrapping up the conversation, are there any other last words that you want to give to sellers, whether it be best practices or anything in general on the conversation with AI and video?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think the key thing is that you start with your customer, you work backwards from that to meet the technology, and you look for ways that these new solutions can solve those key customer problems for your business. We're right at the beginning of this phase, and things are moving really fast. So don't just assume because we can't do it today that it won't be ready in a month or a couple of months' time. Things are really, really moving very fast in this space, and it's a very exciting time.
It is a very exciting time. Dan, thank you so much for being here. Really exciting things happening in this space with AI, with video. I'm looking forward to more conversations like this happening in the future. So Dan, thank you again.
Thank you.